Alan, 3 good points there. Had to work hard for it.
Yeah. You got to work hard every week. Every 3 points is hard work. FC United last week, different game, different team we're up against, but it's still hard work. And at the end of the day, we've seen it against the Altrincham. If you don't work hard, you don't get anything, and you look terrible. Bare minimum is 100%. You put your workload in. You had a little bit of quality of that, and you got a good chance of getting a result. And I think today there was moments of good play, good phases of play, and things that we'd worked on in training that worked well. We got down the outsides, we linked into the front man and popped it off and got the ball out with the overlap with wide man. We looked nice and solid at the back. I think we went a little bit back to front a little bit quickly early on. I think we were looking for Harvey a little bit too often in the first half. I think we could have kept possession, and I think we did that also when they went down to 10 men. I think we were maybe perhaps a little bit too keen to get the ball forward and over the top for Harvey to try and get that second ball when we should have just killed the game and kept possession, and those opportunities would have come on their own. But yeah, we're really pleased. Hard work, 3 points at home, which is the main thing, and a clean sheet, which is great.
The goal is down to Harvey's persistence, though, isn't it? Down the left-hand side, got away from 2 defenders, but a lovely cross in. But unfortunately for Simon Ainge, it's not his goal. It's gone in off the defender.
Well, I couldn't see if it came off the defender or not. I mean, it looked to me like Ainge's volleyed it and it's gone in off the post, off the crossbar. It might have ricocheted back, and so I don't know. It would be harsh not to give him it, but whoever decides that will decide it. But yeah, Harvey's done great for the goal. Very similar to his second goal at FC United. It's not similar in so much as it's the way it looked, but it's that tenaciousness, that sort of chasing lost causes. Putting the scares up the back for the keeper, whatever it is, creating indecision, creating sort of hesitation between defenders and their keeper. And Harvey does that with his pace and his hard work and his sort of his relentlessness. And he created that opportunity for himself down the left-hand side. He's put in a great ball. Just fizzed it. He hasn't even looked up. I don't even think knows Ainge there. He's just hoping that somebody's there, which is what you should do. You just fizz it across that 6-yard box and hope someone's on the end of it. And fortunately for us, Ainge, who's looking sharper now. Obviously he was out for a little while, and I think his first couple of appearances back he looked a little bit rusty. He looked a little bit immobile for him, for the player we saw early on this season. But I thought today, I think if you look at the game as a whole, he worked his socks off. He worked really hard. He was a problem for their centre halves. If he didn't win it, then he stopped them from winning it. He linked quite well, but he got on the end of that cross for the goal, which is the most important thing.
Second half, defended really well. He had to swap things around a little bit to cope with them, but you'll be pleased that they didn't have much in terms of direct shots on goal.
Well, yeah, they're a difficult team to play against if you don't cope with what they've got. Very much like Alfreton, they're very direct. The set plays, long throws, corners, free kicks, big lads up front, centre halves going forward. They've got two, pardon me, they've got 2 lumps up front. Now, if you can't deal with that and cope with that first ball, and if you certainly can't cope with the second ball, because you've got to admit that you're going to lose your fair share against those 2 lads. If you can't cope with that, then you're going to struggle. And I think we coped quite well. If we always competed for the first ball. If we didn't win it, we made sure that we were background covering for the second ball. Midfielders were there for the second ball. So that was massively important if we were going to get anything from this. First half, we gave away too many silly free kicks, which creates pressure again because they love sending people forward. So we talked about that at half time. But yeah, I was pleased that the back 3 worked really well. It's something that we wanted to do all season, but for whatever reason, with the personnel and what have you, we've not been able to do it. It was forefront in our mind back in July when we were going through pre-season that I liked the 3 because it suited our 5 midfielders. We had width, we had an extra man in the middle, we had the 2 up front, and 3 strong centre halves who were going to win the head and win kick and clear it. But it's taken us this long to actually get the opportunity to do it when we felt we had the right personnel and people available. And I think it worked really well. I thought Trotman was different class today, right centre half. Considering he's never played there before in his life, he was great. So yeah, we're really pleased. It was solid defensively. We coped with the threat that they had. we worked, we scrapped. Stevie Thompson at the end of the game said that it's the most he's felt like we felt like a team that could compete and scrap and have it out with anyone. He said they haven't felt like that for a little while. I've always felt as if they were going to get bullied, which I don't get, because it's a mentality. But he said today it felt like they were having it, and they were competing, and they were winning the battles, and they were up for the challenge, and they were up for the scrap, and they were winning them. And I think that's a big step forward mentally for the lads.
Great to have back-to-back wins as well, isn't it? I don't know what the league table is at the moment, but obviously climbing the table.
We're top, I mean, we're top. I think we go 4 points off the playoffs or something stupid like that. Considering a very indifferent start we've had, we've had some disappointing results, we've had some okay performances, some good performances, and 1 or 2 shocking performances. Hopefully this is a bit of consistency that's creeping in, which is a good thing to have. The FC United, we've had a few good results, performances of late, but FC United's today, 6 points in 2 games is great. Clean sheet at home, but it's the nature of the league. We haven't done great yet. We've had 2 wins on the bounce, and now we're only 4 points off the playoffs. It's madness. You look at Boston. I think they're probably very similar to us. They have a great result one week, and then people are scratching their heads saying, "Oh, they got beat by such and such," or they didn't. And that's the way this league is. It's a difficult league to play in. It demands consistency. I think that's why Brackley have done well in the last few seasons. Nothing flash, just very consistent. I think the last 2 games we've shown a consistency in work rate, in quality on the ball, in using our strengths, i.e. Harvey Saunders, and getting the ball wide, Thompson, Henshaw, but they've been nice and solid and not really giving anything away. That's the other thing. I think in the first few games teams weren't opening us up and scoring great goals. We were kind of giving them opportunities, which is frustrating.